Hello everyone and welcome back to Sky Factory, where, as you can see, it is raining. And normally, I will say, I hate rain in Minecraft. It makes me so mad. It's just a thing on your screen and it makes it all look terrible. But this actually looks really nice. It's actually, peaceful, and I like the little, blue, the blobs, I guess, that come on the ground when it rains. It's really nice compared to normal Minecraft. I really do quite enjoy it. So, today, I am going to be embarking on something a little bit different than what I normally do, because I've realized that I'm kind of just flying through this mod pack, which is good, but also I live here. And it doesn't look great, so I would like to just kind of fix the island a little bit, I guess, to make it look a little bit better, so I can have a nicer place to live, I think, than this, where everything is just kind of thrown around. So, what I'd like to build, the idea that I had, is because it's Sky Factory, obviously we're on a floating island, but in, we all know how, the normal, floating islands look, and then, they've got, a little house on it, whatever. I want to make a floating island, because I've never made one before. But on top of my floating island, I'd like to build a little factory. Because it's Sky Factory. I want the kind of skyblock aesthetic that you get, where it's kind of, cool and, floating and everything. But then I want to build a factory on top of it to house my sorting system, which is, as of right now with the simple storage mod, just this, which I'm probably going to change a little bit, make it a little bit more efficient. But for the most part, everything is going to stay somewhat the same. But each of the factory buildings are going to do something different. I can have a factory building that's a smeltery. I can have a factory building that's the storage system, an animal area, a farm, all of the things that I will need, the trees, all of it. Everything that I'd like is going to be in a different part of this factory. So yeah, because I've absolutely been flying through these quests. I've got 1, 2, 3 pages done. And all of these have a little bit done on them as well. So yeah, we're going to take a break from the actual progression through this mod and give myself a little bit of a home to live in. I have collected up a bit of a bit of grass to put on the top layer. I'm going to need more grass, and I have more overworldian matter being cooked up in here, just so that I can make this grass a little bit easier. Here we go. A little bit more. Why not? And I also have cooked up a bunch of stone using my cool little instant supremium furnace. Yeah, I've got 1,000 stone, so we're probably good there. But first things first, I'm going to get a little bit of a circle laid out a few blocks above this. I'd like the center of the circle to be at 0, 0. So I will find 0, 0, and that will be kind of the center of the circle. I'll make a pretty big circle, and then start building the actual floating island part. I think it's going to be hollow, and I'll light it up in there, just because I don't really want to fill it in, because I might want to put something in there. But yeah, for right now, it's time to build a giant circle out of grass. Alrighty, so I've got my giant circle here, all ready and everything, all put up. So yeah, this thing is huge. It's 65 blocks across because I wanted there to be a direct center. That is that torch that's to the direct center. And yes, so I just left that little hole because I need to get up and down every so often. But the next step that I have is to just grab out a ton of stone. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to need a lot more than I have, but that is okay. Quite alright. I'll just keep on throwing some cobblestone in here. I also upgraded this to a tier 5. I just needed a few blaze rods and a few emeralds to get all the way up there. So that was an easy enough process. And now I just have to keep adding some stone down here to make this look kind of like a floating platform. I'm going to try my best to make this look somewhat natural. But we'll just see how this goes, honestly. I also have been sleeping a lot more in this world than I was in the past, just because it gets dark up there and then mobs start to spawn, and I do not love that. So I've been sleeping a lot to make sure that no mobs spawn, which will be a problem that I fix later once I actually get this place up. But I think that this is going to look really cool. I'm just going to start bringing it in like this and bring this to a close so it looks like a floating island. Alrighty, well, progress has been made on the Sky Factory. And the first thing that I did was I added a few little layers down just to kind of give it some depth. And then I'm going to start doing these little lumps kind of all around. There'll be different sizes and shapes and stuff. But after doing this first lump and having to take out part of my island, I've realized I'm probably not doing this in the correct order, especially because I've got this massive... Okay, it's not massive. This tiny little island here that has all of the stuff that I have been living with on it. And I should probably move this. So I'm going to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of reorganize the way of which I was doing all of this. And instead of just trying to keep putting more circles in it and getting closer and closer and destroying parts of my island, I think I just need to go up top and build the factory first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and build the factory before that. I'm not going to do any landscaping or anything. I'm just going to like get out a base design of this Sky Factory and put it on top of the grass here so that I can start moving all of the things that I've got down here as well as like my storage system. I made up, before I recorded this clip, a few of the chests, like these really big ones, so that I can use all of the space that or I can be more efficient with my simple storage area. So yes, the next step before I do anything else is going to be to build the factory on top of my platform here and get this kind of a developed area a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead, try to make some progress on that, and I'll be back when that's done. Alrighty, well, I've done quite a bit of work since the last clip and built up the factory. This is by no means, like, finished. But I do have the skeleton up, basically. I did all the little roof details and everything. All the piping and stuff that I wanted with this little tower and all of that. So I've got quite a lot of space here. Quite a few details in it as well. And honestly, okay, these big fans are probably my favorite part. I found these in the mod with the chisel, and oh my gosh, they make me so happy. These two smoke towers, I obviously have not put any smoke coming out of them. And so they're not done yet either. But I have kind of a skeleton built, which is what I wanted for this part. And I've still got all of this as plain grass around here. I'll kind of give you like a 360 of this place, with just a lot of plain grass. But most of these walls are textured or have at least some sort of thing in them to make sure they're not just like a flat wall. Very, very factory-like. I have a ton of animals on here that have been spawning, and this sheep over here, who I have called Parkour Sheep. There's a bunch of creepers in here. Because I don't know how the sheep got over there. Quite honestly, it could not have walked over there. The sheep had to have jumped over. There were never any blocks attaching this to here. So I'm not sure how the sheep got on here. There was never any dirt. I don't know how he got here, basically. So I've called him Parkour Sheep, and and he's been here for like probably like 2 hours of gameplay. If I'm being like 2 hours, he's been just chilling over there on that roof. He's walking around and such. He's a mystery and he baffles us all, but I do quite adore him. I am not going to put him in a cage though, because I feel that would be rude. So I'll just let Parkour Sheep kind of do whatever he feels he needs to do over there. But the next step that I need to do is inside here. You can see I've bashed down this wall right here. And that's kind of the idea that I want to do for every one of these walls, is I just want to take all of the walls in here and kind of bash them out. I think the only one that I don't want to like totally get rid of is this wall right here. I'm going to connect it here and then just make this little wall kind of push this out, because I have a little area over here that I'm going to class as like a loading bay. And I'd like to build maybe like a semi. I think would look really cool in here. Like a semi has driven up here somehow, has floated up here, quite honestly. Oh, a floating semi. Oh, I'm just having good ideas as I'm saying this. This is fantastic. A floating semi in this loading bay, like unloading its contents into this room. So I feel as though having some sort of wall here would be good. And then maybe like punching this area out where they would bring the goods out of there and into the, oh, I fell down, into the rest of the warehouse, or the factory, I guess. But yeah, I do want it to be fairly open in here, so that I can have a ton of space to put all of my things. And I don't really want to be restricted in that fashion. I just wanted from the outside for it to look like there was different buildings. And I feel like if I bash these walls down, it'll still give that kind of feel. I'm going to definitely be leaving some walls up, like this wall right here will probably stay up, but that wall back there will come down. So we'll kind of see what looks right. If I have to add some support beams to make it look fine, I'll do that. But next step, bash down all the walls in here. Make the inside look kind of good-ish. At least put in a consistent flooring. And from there, I can start to move all of my things up, which is mainly why I wanted to build the factory. So, without worrying too much on how everything is going to look up there, I am purely going to start bashing walls down and putting in my storage system and stuff like that in a more permanent area that I want it to be in. So I'm going to make the last little push to get this island down here relocated and start putting it up into the factory. Alright, well I'm coming back with slightly less progress than I first intended to, but I did get all the walls knocked down in here. I put an extra lay on the roof so that it all kind of looks the same. It does look a bit like another fortress. I might change it up on the inside a little bit, add a little bit more texture to the walls and such, but for right now, I'm going to leave it. I did get a new flooring down. I've got it in concrete, some light gray concrete, just because I run really fast on concrete. You can see how fast I'm going? And I'm going significantly less fast out here. So I can, like, zip around my little base area. So this is really fun. Finally, the last thing that I did was I added in a few signs all around. Just of things that I wanted in general areas. So this area is going to be my crafting area. I'm going to have my crafting table, maybe a few other small items along here. Like, I say crafting area, but, like, it's going to have, like, the storage thing. The simple storage thing is going to go right here. And all of those kind of things. Then on the other side, I'm probably going to have a ton of furnaces, and just like other general crafting such things in this little opening foyer area. Then back here, I'm just going to have a build in this area. It's just going to be where my floating semi-truck that I talked about earlier in the episode is going to go. So there's not going to be anything of actual use in there. It's just going to be for looks. Finally, I've got, well, not finally, but next is the machines. This whole wall area will be where all my machines are. Yeah, there'll just be a bunch of cables linking everything up over here, giving everything power. It'll be where all of the machinery goes and such. This little area back here will be my trophy room. It'll be the place that I put all of my cool little things. All of my little, like, probably all of the things from the Twilight Forest. Like, all of these little trophies. I will go ahead and set those back in this area here. And then along this wall, in this space, I'm just going to have my dimension cakes. So all of the cakes for all of the different dimensions that I can go to. I broke the ones that are down below. You can't pick them up once you put them down, which really I should have thought about before, but that's quite alright. And yeah, so I've picked all of those up, or destroyed them all, I guess, and I'm going to put a bunch of cakes along that wall. The final thing before it turns nighttime and I start getting... Oh, chicken! Wow. Before I start getting a ton of mob spawns is inside this little building right here. I am going to have a little farm that gives me... that I can grow all of the, these kind of plants on. These different kind of seeds and such. So I will grow all of those in that little building. I'll probably have more than just essence seeds right now. That was just kind of what I was planting. But I will end up, like, making more of those eventually. I think I have to anyway for a quest. But yeah, as of right now, this is going very well. I think that that's actually where I'm gonna end it off for today. I've made a lot of progress on this thing. I mean, I've built a whole factory on top of this little island area. The next step, I think, is to just finish up the inside of it so that it is a usable space and to destroy the rest of the various things that are scattered around. Like, my island is, like, still here, I guess. I just have to... Oh, and I need to put my smeltery somewhere. Maybe that'll go here. Maybe this will be a smeltery area. Or I can go back in this corner. I don't know. I'll figure that out. That'll be a problem for future me. But, yeah. I have to have areas where everything goes, and I will... That'll be a probably next episode plan, is to finally get rid of my little island here. But yeah, super cool progress for today. This is an insane build. And just an absolutely insane build. I really, really like how this turned out. And it is also a sky factory, which is so fun. I really enjoy it. So yeah, that is, I think, what's going to do it for today. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from this series, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!